Today we're reviewing a 1980 Maserati Merak SS. 50-some thousand miles, low 50s. This car is basically a one-owner car. I claim that it's not at all. Largely a one-owner car, belonged to a doctor in New York. Second owner owned it just momentarily. He was a collector. And third owner, also a collector. And nobody put any miles on it in the last few years. They did some substantial work to it. David up at Excelsior Motors in Kentucky, renowned all over the United States for his work on Citroens and Maserati engines, has done some work on the car. We'll go over those tickets in a minute. Most attractive thing about this particular Maserati, it is not a rusty car. There is one spot, has a little bit going on, but I'll point that out when I'm up on the lift. You can clearly see good paint, straight body, good doors, nice bumpers, good wheels. These cars have great lines. It does have some flaws in it, which I would point out. One is right here on the buttress. It's cracked. Crack here, crack here. Those that need to be redone. There's also a spot on a driver's door. Right here. It's out. Paintless dent removal could probably flatten that for you. Maserati Owners Club car. Glass is good. All the paint is good. Lines are good. Just a hairline crack in the paint here. You probably can't even see it. Just a small spot right here, probably from flex. Gap good. Good paint everywhere, as I mentioned. The doors, when you open them, they don't drop. They shut nicely. And they open nicely. Incredible interior. Probably the strongest part of this car is the interior. Original and in great condition. Dash is in nice original condition. Console's clean. Gauges are clean. Nice headliner, good carpets. The lines on these Maserati Meraks are really pretty. Pretty exotic car for the money that they're worth today. They should be worth more, don't you think? If a Dino's worth 400,000, 300, a Merak should be worth 6 figures. Just a man's opinion, of course. This car has something that I hadn't seen in any of them, in that it has the original spare wheel from Maserati. No oil leaks, no fuel leaks. She starts well every time we ask it to. looking for the hood release, of course. Nice and clean, good pad. That master cylinder is new, by the way. Nice clunk. Here's some of the receipts. This is when the first doctor owned the car, replaced valve cover gaskets. This is at 70, oh, this is the wrong car, that's a Porsche. Clutch master cylinder. Recent work. Slave cylinder done by Excelsior Motors in Midway, Kentucky. Another Midway Motors, Excelsior Motors receipt for $3,900. They replaced all the fuel lines between carburetors and fuel injection hoses, injection clamps, oil cooler lines, valve cover gaskets, new battery. Consequently, today, at this moment, this is a very usable, drivable car. Here was $1,900 spent at 56,000 miles. Clutch pump, AC, drained the tank, put new fuel in it. Let's see, so I want to clarify ownership history again. The first doctor owned it almost all of its life. Sold it, drove it daily, and that's what these receipts are. Went to a second collector, very short time. Third man was a collector who did this work in at Excelsior Motors. Here's $1,700, rebuilt the starter, adjust carbs. I ran a paint meter over it. It's inconsistent. Some of it reads original. I had a couple of readings up at 11. 405055 Very inconsistent. Again, the main thing with the car, paint is good, by the way, as you can see. It was just not a rusty car. Let me get the keys out and we'll start. All right, you can see all the gauges are in nice condition, as is the dashboard. That's a nice dash. Let's start it from a cold start here. Not smoking. Gauges work. Currently has 56,700 miles on it. About the same miles it had when the doctor sold it, the original owner sold it. I'll go ahead and put it up on the lift and then we'll go for a drive. Okay, we're at eye level on the Maserati Merak. This is to show possible flaws that you wouldn't see what's on the ground. And of course the strength of the car. Front chin spoiler's good. Nose is clean on the car. Gaps are good on the hood. Bumper's good. Come around the side. This quarter's clean and nice. No rust. Campy wheels are a little scarred on the edges. Good tires are the Goodyears. Deep tread. Sides are straight on the car. Gaps are good. No rust. Doors are clean on the underside. Not much flex in that body. One of these sides rear quarters had a little bit of rust. It's the only rust we found. Here it is. Just a little bit of bubbling happening right here. Not much, especially for a Maserati, and this is an area where they rust and they're not. It's not. Again, the strength of this car is the interior and lack of rust. The integrity level of the car is very high, as you can clearly see. And no rust down here on this side. By the way, the rust on the other side I pointed out is just minimal. They're just starting to blister a little bit. Again, those of you that know Maseratis know that they could rust terribly. All right, that's at eye level. Let's go on up and we'll take a look at the underside. All right, nice clean belly pan. Again, not rusty. Straight. Good clean. We have a little bit of flaking here, but that's undercoating. It's solid, not rusty. Boots are in good condition. I think mechanically this car's probably pretty well sorted. Or Dave up at Excelsior would have addressed it, and the last owner definitely would have addressed it. He's a collector and he wanted all of his cars to be right. How dry that engine is. All these hoses are fresh. This is old residue here. See, it doesn't even hardly come off my hand. Boots are good. Everything's looking good on this car. Let's bring it down. Let's go for a drive. This well-serviced Maserati is a well-behaved Maserati. It's 90-some degrees out. We have the windows up and